That's next week.
Yeah, that's next door. All right, so say we only wanted one thread on either end of this wrap. In this case, I want to take the color I want to use as a tag and take it right down against the blank. Okay. Now I'm going to need a pull loop. I'm going to take that into place also.
You're doing what? It's now a single thread?
Right, a single
tag?
thread, yeah. Okay. Do an overwrap of pink. Okay, so what I want here, what I'm trying to achieve is I just want a single yellow thread as a trim band on both ends. You could do 6 threads as a trim band with this method, but generally I use it for very thin trim bands when I'm trying to be elegant. Okay, so all I've done is I've taped in my trim thread, then I taped in a loop at the beginning of my wrap. Now I'm going to go ahead and start to wrap over the top of this. Now, this is critical. I've got my tag here on the back side of the blank. On the top side of the blank, I've got my trim thread and my loop. What I don't want is to get the tag for my wrap in between these two. Because when I go to pull through my tag, if I try to pull it through with this and the tag for my wrapping thread is in the center of that, I'm going to loosen up the wrapping thread. Everybody following me on this? I know it sounds complicated. You probably won't mess with this stuff at all this week. This will be for later. You'll understand it. Okay, so I get a few wraps over the top of that. I'm going to trim out my wrapping thread. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab this thread. And now as I wrap the rod with the wrapping thread, I'm just letting this lay down in the front. See that? And this just a little bit shorter. This goes through the loop. Take this thread, this tape out of here now. It pulls that loop in. Go ahead and pull that tag thread through. Now, we've talked about this a bunch of times already. This is an easy place to see it. I've got one thread, this yellow thread, one thread, one thread, one thread, one thread, 2 threads from here to here. See that? So for me to clean that up, all I want to do here is now grab this tag and work it back up to match the other one. Now this is where it's important that that tag right there isn't in between the two. Because if it was in between the two and I pulled on this, then I would hit that tag and loosen up the whole darn thing. You can follow me on. Okay, so now I've got that single band along the edge. I can trim that out of there. Square up my edge. And continue on. Alright, so now to finish this up is exactly the opposite. What I want to do is, I'm looking at my trim thread here. I want to go opposite my trim thread and put in a pull thread for my winding thread. Now remember, I plan on wrapping over that at least 1/4 of an inch, right? So let's go 1/8 of an inch, say that far, and now we're going to go around to where our tag is, and just below our tag we'll add in another pull loop for our trim thread.
Come on, you'll remember this.
Why are you laughing?
Is this a freaking joke?
So follow
Now you know
me.
why I brought the camera.
This is mostly for your benefit.
You're gonna provide that for the.
You can see why nobody brings the pole back.
I decided
All
to
you
finish
guys
it
should be
myself at
doing-
home.
All you guys should be doing is just a simple underwrap with simple overwraps, none of this fancy stuff. This is mostly for Captain videographers.
And I appreciate it.
Okay, so now we've wrapped 1/8 of an inch over the top of our pull loop for our wrapping thread. And we're just getting started wrapping over the pull loop for our tag thread. So want to go about another 1/8 of an inch, which is going to finish up our 1/4 inch for our wrapping thread, right? I can go ahead and pull the wrapping thread through.
Jesus.
Bring this up close. Pull it right out of there. Now we've got the wrapping thread all finished up. Go ahead and try to square this up before I pull this tag. Now I can grab my tag thread. I'm going to make one band. This one a little shorter, so it's not quite as unwieldy.
So it's the same thread both sides.
Same thread. Yep. Now I've got the same issue here, you remember. I've got a single thread, single thread, single thread, double thread. So all I want to do is pull this one back a little bit in order to get that down to single bolt side. And then I'm going to pull open a gap, go in with my razor blade.
Will that thread show through?
No,
That's going in
not when
underneath?
it's finished, no.
I
No.
can see it.
And the other way to do it, yeah, when it's finished though, when you put a finish
Oh, when
on
you
it,
put a
won't be able
finish
to
on
see
it, okay.
But if you were concerned about that, you could it'd make the wrap a little more complicated, if you can believe that. But all you'd want to do is add it in and wrap over the top of it towards the end, so you just see a little bit at the end. But that's how that's done. Okay? Any questions?
No, not at all.
All right, everybody needs to get over here and try at least a simple wrap. And that's that.